welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta. Of course, my name is Brice, and as I have said so many times, I obviously have some karma with Australia. I love Australia, and I'm gonna just dub this channel EA as Esoteric Atlanta or
Yeah.
Esoteric Australia because I have some of the greatest friendships from Australia, and I am here with my friend and my partner in crime, Paula Cummings. I know you guys have seen this beautiful lady on my channel multiple times now because we are doing the Esoteric Academy together, but I wanted to interview Paula so that you guys could get to know Paula better, especially having to do with the healing arts and who Paula is. But before we get into it, Paula, I just want to go ahead and quickly show our awesome friends and subscribers your YouTube channel that you just opened. And I'm so excited to talk to you because you are in an area of healing that I'm not super familiar with. It's a
Mhm.
different lineage, and so I can't wait to like pick your brain. But if you guys, Paula just opened up her own channel, so please go and make sure you are subscribed to Empowered Spirit Healing. All of that is going to be down in the description box below, where she's obviously we've got some shows about our platform, but she also has different meditations that are available for free for you guys. So make sure you are subscribed. And then of course, Paula, if this is their first time clicking on this episode, I know everybody watching has seen us advertise this, but as you guys know, we are in the soft launch of our Paula and my brand new virtual mystery school, the Esoteric Academy. And this was all your idea. It felt so serendipitous, Paula, because literally, as I've been saying, I think I'm still just gobsmacked. Even though I believe in channeling and I believe in astrology, it's still gobsmacking when something that was predicted years ago actually comes to fruition. And our friend Tamara, our other Australian friend, predicted this in my chart in 2021. And then Paula
Which
brought
is
it to me,
amazing.
isn't it? And it's come
Yeah.
together pretty seamlessly. Now, you guys, we are in the soft
Yeah.
launch. Again, we're in soft launch phase right now, up until February 20th of 2025. So right now, the monthly tuition is only $25 a month. That's less than $1 a day. And the reason why we're putting the price so low in soft launch is because we've got the teaching. The teaching is fine. We know how to do that. But because we're doing this virtually, we wanted to give a couple of months where we were going to be ironing out all the kinks with technology because stuff always happens, right, Paula, with technology? I
Yeah.
mean,
We have lots of fun with that.
we've gotten to know Stripe pretty well, and we did have something we had to work out with payment methods. We just fixed it for some reason it was only offering credit card payments, but we want to give you guys all sorts. So we just actually fixed that for you guys, and that's why we're doing the soft launch for stuff like this. We want
Yeah.
to make sure everything, as far as the classes, is translating properly. We want to make sure you're able to get the videos properly, and there's no any hiccups that are bound to happen, that we can iron those out before we start going with like live calls and live classes. And so right now, because we are in the soft launch, it is at a discounted rate. Now, here's the thing, right, Paula? If you purchase now during the soft launch phase at $25 a month, when we go up to the grand opening, the price will go up to $40 a month, your tuition will never change. For those that
Yeah.
purchase within the soft launch, we're going to keep you at $25 a month. We're never going to up your
Lock it
tuition.
in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's our thank you to you for helping us with this soft launch. And I just loaded up or actually I sent them to Paula and Paula uploaded 3 new exercise classes. Um,
Which are awesome, by the way, because I've done a couple of them.
so I'm so excited. And the thing with this, guy, is like we have the complete Bhagavad Gita course, the complete Alchemy of Movement course. We've got a lot of Paula's quantum healing courses up. When we add new stuff, and we will continually be adding, like I'm halfway through another course right now, I'm recording for January and it will be loaded once it's complete. So when the courses are complete, and that's kind of nice for people, isn't it, Paula? They're not stuck to a schedule. They can kind of take these classes when it suits
At
them.
their own pace. Yeah.
And that's beautiful because when we do a course at a Shala, you have to stick to the Shala schedule. And of course, with our monthly calls that are coming with the grand opening, you'll be able to ask us questions. We'll be able to break down some of the stuff that you have. And we do want to be interactive. We have a community where people
Yeah.
can talk to each other. We want to help you guys along the way. And so again, it's only $25 a month, less than $1 a day. That's tuition. I mean, tuition unlimited. I mean, that's a drop in for one day at a yoga shala here in Atlanta is $25. It's one day, not even a
And
full
get
day.
access
Yeah,
to
you have.
all of this.
Yeah, it's
Multiple exercise classes, we've got courses, and then we're going to be doing the monthly calls, which we're going to start as of February the 20th. We will, and I believe we discussed, Brice, that we were going to try and, instead of sticking to one particular time each month, we're going to try and vary it a little bit, because we are aware that there are people signing up from all over the world.
Yeah.
And if we just picked one set time, then there might be quite a lot of people that have to miss out or have to get up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to be a part of the call. We want to kind of make it as fair as possible and include everybody as possible. So we'll mix the times around each month. It'll probably be roughly the same. It'll probably be the end of each month, I'm assuming. Like, I'm thinking, yeah, roughly the end of each month, but we'll just change the times and the days so that everybody gets a chance to be a part of the calls and ask us questions.
Absolutely. And in the monthly classes, the live classes, and I think what we kind of talked about doing, guys, is we're going to do like a monthly newsletter. We're working on that. We go ahead and just send you the links for the day and the time. And of course, it'll be coming from my Zoom, so it'll be set at East Coast time. So just wherever you are in the world, if you have a handy dandy smartphone, it'll easily tell you what time that is for you. And yeah, we want to accommodate everybody. I know we have so many people in Australia, especially, and that's really difficult because, like, for me, it's early in the morning. For you, it's late at night, and so we really want to be able to accommodate as many people as possible. And so we're going to vary the times each month, just so one group of people doesn't feel left out or excluded because of the time zones. And that's the same with the classes. With the live classes, we're going to start the live classes with like more kind of yoga-esque classes without any music. We're working on we're working on getting proper equipment, so as we move on, we could do more like fusion classes where we have the music and I have a mic, so I'm not being drowned out by the music, or I'm not drowning out the music. So I'm very excited about that, because for me as a teacher, we said in one of our past episodes that we filmed, Paula, that kind of, talk is kind of cheap. We could talk in circles about all this stuff, but we eventually have to put it into action. It means nothing unless it's put into action. And so for me, I can do the best I can virtually. If you were to email me and say, hey, I'm having a hip issue or a knee issue, and I can get you to explain it to me as much as possible, but I'm not going to really have the full picture of what's going on with you unless I can actually see your body, and not just see your body, but like see how you move in your body. And that's going to help me help you the best way I can without being able to actually put my hands on you. So I'm really excited about that, so that I can be of service to you as much as possible in this kind of crazy time. I think this came at a perfect time. Of course, God's timing is always perfect, because we are living in very hectic times, and ascension, all that kind of stuff. And so, and I'm just so proud of everybody. I said this last time we filmed, Paula, we had that awesome comment about someone had really changed himself because of some of the stuff I put out. And I'm just putting out the template of what this is. You're the one that's actually doing the work. And this work is hard. It's so easy to sit around and talk about the theory, but to actually do it, that's a whole different level of courage.
It's hard to set your alarm and to actually get up, because my alarm goes off pretty early most days. I'm usually trying to get up about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then some days I just want to go back to sleep. But you make a commitment to yourself, and you're like, yep, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do the exercises. And like I was explaining to you, Brice, I was kind of doing kind of a blend of Pilates and yoga that I've kind of been doing on and off for years. I think I started Pilates when I was around probably 19, 20. But I've just been on and off over the years, and I just really have struggled with consistency. And I've realized just recently, since I've been doing your workouts for probably about a month now, I've been doing them, and they're just so much fun that I actually just really want to do it. And I'm feeling really motivated to stay consistent with it, which is amazing, because I think that's the thing. You need to have that good balance of challenging yourself, but also getting results, and also it being fun. Because I think if it's getting boring, I think my workouts that I was doing myself were just getting really boring. Yeah. And I was struggling to get up every day to do it, it was taking a very long time to get results too. Whereas with yours, I'm already feeling like my posture's getting better. and I'm feeling stronger, especially in my upper body, because I'm saying to you, Brice, that I'm more of like an hourglass kind of figure, and I tend to put my weight on around my legs and around my butt and that kind of thing, whereas upper body, I've always been very petite. So for me, I've kind of focused on exercises that really works the legs and things like that. But I'm realizing how important it is to do your upper body as well, and having the upper body strength, and how you explain all of the spiritual side of things and working on the chakras and all of that kind of stuff is just, it's been awesome learning all of the spiritual side of exercise.
So it was
Yeah.
hard, right? I mean, this shit's hard, you guys. Like, it's hard for me. You see me sweating my ass off when I'm doing these videos. And and that's what makes it, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what makes it worth, that's what makes the hard work worth it, is when you're not really thinking about punishing yourself to have skinnier legs
Yes.
or a flatter stomach, but more what is energetically being your chakras. We can talk about the chakras all day, but it's not going to make a difference unless they're actually activated, and that involves sweat, blood, and tears, basically. And it's hard, and it's tough, and it's painful sometimes, and it's uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean it can't be fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm glad you're having fun. That's why I try to pick fun music. I try
Yeah.
to pick, we're most of us who have signed up, I'm assuming, were born in the 1900s, as the kids like to say. A lot of music from the 1900s.
Yeah, which
Just
I love.
go on with it if you want to, and find that joy from the second chakra. And of course, every single exercise has a different purpose. So some are more serious than the others. But I'm so glad, and that brings us to your story, Paula, because you're a little weirdo, just like me, and just like all of our friends watching right now. We're all proud weirdos. And so
Yeah.
let's rewind the clock and go back to where do you want to start with your life story? What brought you to sitting with me at 7:10 in the morning, my time, 8 something
Yeah.
p.m. your time, talking on a Zoom from two totally different corners of the world? What brought you to here? Like, I don't think it was just last week. That I think this is a accumulation of your whole life that brings us to a certain point. So let's start. Like, what was your childhood like? Where were you born? What was going on with you as a kid? Let's start there, just briefly. Who is Paula?
Okay, so I was born in February. I'm a Pisces, so I'm pretty chill, but a big dreamer. Definitely, I've always been a dreamer. Always felt really different to everybody. I mean, I'm lucky. I've always kind of gotten along with people and made friends quite easily, but I've always felt like I was on the outside a little bit. It's funny, even my ex-partner would say that I'm a bit of a weirdo. But at first he liked that about me, because I am different. I've just always looked at things from a different perspective. I've never been a very mainstream kind of person. And I guess like the paranormal and conspiracies have really just been very intriguing to me. So I think I remember telling you when we very first started chatting that I was in year 1, I believe, when I first found out about Santa. And instead of getting upset about it, I was just like, oh, no way.
Conspiracy.
Yes. And I was like, what else are they keeping from us? And it just, I was just like, instead of being upset about it, I was almost excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, And then I think the next time I really got into it, like to different things, was I about 13 or 14 or something, when, or maybe 15, I'm not sure, when the Da Vinci Code came out, and I went to the movies and watched that. And I went with my best friend at the time, and we went and saw that, and I was just like, wow, like I was intrigued by the Mary Magdalene story. So me and my friend went straight from the cinema to the bookshop, and there I'm like buying these like bloodline books and stuff like that, because I was just like, wow, I just love this stuff. It just absolutely intrigues me. But I think, yes, I mean, I guess I've always been different. But I guess when I was around 16, I found Rich Dad, Poor Dad on my dad's bookshelf by Robert Kiyosaki. And I read that. And then I was lucky enough that Robert Kiyosaki even came to Perth, because Perth's for anybody who knows where Perth is, it's like the most isolated city in the world. It's pretty small, but he came and my dad bought us tickets to go to his seminar and see him speak. And that was so amazing. And I was so inspired by him. And I just thought, you know what, no matter what, I don't want to be a part of the rat race. And I mean, of course, I've had many jobs. I've worked full time and I have been in the rat race as such. We all kind of have to be a part of it to a certain point, but I've always been kind of looking for a direction to kind of get me just to have the freedom. I like to be free. I mean, in numerology, I'm a number 5, so I like change. I get very bored very quickly. So I think with a lot of jobs I've had have not lasted very long. It's not that I'm not a good worker, because I do work really hard. I just get so bored and I need constant stimulation and change. And so I've always been kind of searching for something different. But I had my girls quite young. I guess I was 21 when I fell pregnant with my oldest daughter. And having kids really kind of changed me from focusing so much on to finance into more of a spiritual kind of just more of an interest in that. And I started to learn about metaphysics and stuff like that. And, I've just read a lot of books of your typical kind of authors like Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer and lots of those kind of people. And they did have a big impact on my life, and also helping me through what was quite a dark time for me. I have suffered a lot with depression and anxiety over the years. I've had a very low energy. Low energy has been a huge problem for me until probably the last few years. It's definitely improved a lot. But yeah, those kind of things, it's just when you've got these health problems. So my depression probably started when I was about 14.
Yeah.
And, my dad didn't really know how to help me. But he took me along to his doctor, and of course they tried prescribing antidepressants, and I didn't want to take them at first because they just made me so sick.
Yeah.
And like I just was vomiting from them and stuff like that. So I didn't take them. I have taken them on and off over the years, but just for a long time I just struggled with it and I didn't really know what to do. But I was always, in some ways, I'm kind of glad that happened, because it's that struggling with that is what made me look for answers and look for, just trying to always find solutions. And then because of that constant hunger and just being obsessed with learning and just never having a rest, I'm just always just like listening to podcasts and listening to different stuff and reading different books and just always searching for answers. And even though a lot of my health issues are pretty well under control now, I'm still just so hungry for knowledge. And then, of course, when COVID happened and everything, that just made me just like, what is going on here? And just deep dive into even more kind of things. So
The smack across the back of the head a lot of people needed right now. So 2020 gave us 2020 vision. But you
yes.
know, something that I think is so important. I think sometimes people associate like spirituality with being in this state of bliss and just total light. But one thing that the traditional practices teach us, and Ram Dass talks about this a lot, is that suffering is actually the grace you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So like the depression, the anxiety, the hard stuff that's actually grace, because it's what's getting you, it's what's sparking that need to change,
Mm-hmm.
and that need to seek.
Absolutely.
I've never met a spiritual seeker who was happy.
Yeah.
I tell people, like, you look at people don't go to yoga classes because they're happy.
No.
Right? There's something that they're looking for because things aren't adding up. They're realizing the way they're feeling inside is not right or productive. And so they're seeking answers to what they might be missing. And then of course that leads you to the path of like, well, actually, you're not really missing anything. We just need to align you back. You've been so distracted by the matrix, by the illusion, the Maya. And I'm not talking just about like an hour. I'm just talking about generally speaking that you think you're Paula. I think I'm Brice. And these things, these entities, these incarnations are not permanent. So therefore, there's always going to be a level of depression and anxiety because it's constant fluctuation of change. And so what is that that is real inside of you? And that's the soul. But people who've never suffered aren't going to have that desire to find the soul. And so I love that you brought that up. And so for our viewers watching, like if you've struggled, like that's your grace. That's your grace, is because that's giving you the gumption and the courage to actually be vulnerable and humble enough to start the initiate's path. And the initiate's path, that's what we call spirituality in all lineages, is not an easy one. You know,
No.
it's not, it's why I keep saying talk is cheap. We can sit on here all day and talk about chakras and spirituality. Doesn't mean shit until we actually activate it and actually get into it and practice it. And so you went through all of these struggles. You're already interested in the conspiratorial side of life. What brought you to like quantum healing? Because that's what I'm excited to, because Paula and I practice different lineages. And so I'm not super familiar. I mean, I know a little bit about it. We spoke with Carrie. I've talked to other people who do quantum healing. But first of all, what brought you to quantum healing? What was that where you saw it or you experienced, you're like, yes, this is my lineage? Do you remember that moment?
I don't feel like it was anything just specifically. So I mean, I used to listen. So I've listened to and read a lot of books of Joe Vitale. I'm not sure if you've heard of him or not. He's, like a real marketing guru kind of guy, and so I really got into him when I was kind of in my more money kind of stage. But then he turned quite spiritual, and in his book, it's called The Attractor Factor, and he mentioned in there that he had a person that he like was doing energy work with him, and kind of doing energy work through like colors and all of that kind of thing. And that just really intrigued me. So I think I was around 2021, around the time when I had my first daughter, Bella, that I'd read the book. And yeah, I was just fascinated by that. And I remember thinking, I went back and read the book a few years later when Bella, and then I had my second daughter, Natalia, they were very little, and I was struggling a lot mentally with everything. And I was just like, this energy work, I was just like, really intrigued me. And I was like, I really want someone that I can see on a regular basis, just like he was seeing somebody on a regular basis. And then I remembered that a friend I went to school with, her mum was studying to be a kinesiologist, and she just started up her business. And at that time, I didn't know what kinesiology was. I didn't know what a balance was. But I was just like, oh, can I go along to that? Because I'm a pretty open-minded person. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds fun. I'll go along to that. So I went along, and just from day one, when I met my kinesiologist, I just loved her. She's just a beautiful soul. And so I've been seeing her, well, ever since when I was pregnant was the first time I saw her, because I had a lot of morning sickness. And then it was a few years I kind of saw her on and off. And then it was a few years when I was reading Joe Vitale's book, and I was like, that's it. I want to commit to this. Like, I want to do the work. And I was like, you know what? I want to see her on a regular basis. So back then, I mean, I was on a pretty tight budget. So I literally just had to draw out a little bit of money each week to just make sure I could afford to see her. And I would literally see her like probably every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I would go see her. And I think just knowing I had somebody to go to on a regular basis, to talk to, and just, it's amazing. I don't know if you're very familiar with kinesiology, Brice, but it's basically muscle testing, but there's Reiki involved. You have flower essences to support. You're doing color therapy. There's a lot involved in it, and crystals and whatever your body is needing at the time, or sometimes she has to press different pressure points, whatever's coming up. But what I love about it is just you uncover stuff that you had no idea was going on in your subconscious mind, or even just in your etheric field as well. And I remember when I met her, I was like, I want to do something like this, not specifically kinesiology, but I was like, I want to do energy work. And it literally took me all that time to find the right thing for me. So I did Reiki back in 2018. I did my level 1. Oh, well, that was when I might have was that when I did my level 2? No, sorry. Level 1, because I was pregnant with Scarlett. my third baby. And then I did level 2 in 2022. Yes, I believe. Yeah. So, and I would really like to get my master's at some point as well, but I'll work towards that. But I didn't really discover the quantum healing until just this year. And that was when I came across Brice, sorry. I came across Kerry, and that was through a mutual friend. My daughter's friend's mum told me about her and said, "You've got to meet Kerry, you've got to do her courses, they're amazing." And I was like, okay, sure. You know, me being me, pretty open-minded, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And I was just blown away, blown away. So I've done her level 1 and level 2. And then next year she's running a level 3, which I'm looking forward to doing as well. But yeah, I love the work. So I guess to go back to my childhood a little bit, I had a mum who was very narcissistic, and I basically spent my childhood just kind of tiptoeing around her. And I've got 3 siblings. I've got an older brother, an older sister, and me kind of in the middle, and then I've got a younger sister. And I was definitely the most people pleasing out of all of us, I guess. I was the one who kind of tried to keep mum as happy as I could, and I would help clean the house, or I would try and help with cooking. Not that I really knew how to cook, but I'd make, you know, pancakes or French toast or anything I could to help mum, because she was a single mum. My mum and dad split up when I was 4. And then I got to about 12 years old, and I couldn't handle living with my mum anymore. She was just so angry all the time, and I just couldn't do anything right. So I ended up moving in with my dad, which was challenging as well, because even though my dad, he's a sweetheart and he's as gentle as anything, but he's not really dad material. He's just pretty self-absorbed, and he just likes to potter around and do his own thing. Doesn't really have like an invested relationship. He's also, I believe he's been diagnosed slightly Asperger's, so he's not got the emotional intelligence happening there. So, you know, like if I was crying and stuff in front of him, I knew he felt sad for me, but he didn't know how to help me.
Out of comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the time I did feel really alone, and I did feel like I didn't have a support network. And so once again, that's another thing, like, I'm grateful for. I know that I chose my parents. I know I chose my siblings. I chose where I, you know, wanted to be born in Perth and everything. But it's because of those challenges. I didn't have a supportive mum or a supportive dad. I didn't really have anybody. Dad was there physically, but not emotionally. My mum was just difficult to be around. It's all of those challenges have brought me to where I am now. And I'm at the point now where I'm actually really happy with who I am and where I'm going. Of course, there's things I want to work on. I'm always working on healing, and you know, I'm still learning so much too. I mean, I've been learning so much from you, Brice, since we've decided to do this work together. And over the years following your channel, I've learned so much from you, still learning from other people as well. So I'm not an expert at all, and I'm quite new to I'm quite new to, I mean, I'm familiar with Reiki, obviously, but the quantum healing, I'm quite new to that because I've only just learned that this year. But I'm just the kind of person, like, I'll be learning and working till the day I die because
That's the thing, right? It's never ending. You're never totally done with it. So
yeah.
what actually is quantum healing?
So quantum healing, I guess, is just kind of working on all different levels. So of course you're working with the chakras, which is very involved with Reiki, but you're also going into the aura, the etheric field as well, and you're kind of, yeah, going through those different layers, because it's in those different layers that we have different entities that get attached to us, and clearing them is so important because they drain us. They drain so much energy from us. Also, in our different aura like fields, we can sometimes get holes or tears that just happen because when we're down, when we're feeling depressed or anxious or stressed out, or if we're drinking a lot of alcohol or taking drugs, you know, that's when we can get tears in our auric field, or we can get entities attaching to us because they're drawn to that
Yeah.
negative vibration. And so It's about also going into those different auric fields and I guess repairing those little gaps and holes as well, and just in healing them up so that you are protected and strong in the auric field.
So you
But
guys, we know Paula she's a mom just like you guys are, and I would love to do a follow-up with you just about motherhood. And you and Alicia Gee and myself, we're in a three-way chat because Alicia's our guinea pig.
yes.
She's been testing a lot of this stuff for us. She's been beta testing. And there's a lot more I want to talk about because I've said some things like about, a woman's body and core strength and the boobs. And like, there's a lot that goes on with the woman's body that doesn't necessarily go on with the men. And it was going to direct different energy cycles for women, which we can talk about in another episode because I know you got your children. But one thing I want to, Angela and Paula, is like with the quantum healing, what you're saying, it goes hand in hand with like shadow work. Because when we
Oh,
talk
absolutely.
your
Yeah.
the darkness of you, we all have darkness, we all have shadow sides, and what's attracting things to you are where your shadow is.
Yeah,
And
and the parts of you that you're not accepting. So where I was going to continue on with that, it was just before I got interrupted, but is that so one of the techniques that Kerry taught us is that is all about kind of bringing back all the different lost parts of our soul, because what happens is when we have traumatic experiences as a child or even as an adult, we have heartbreak, we break up relationships, we go through lose a job, or we working with someone difficult, any kind of difficulty or trauma we go through, our parts of our soul or parts of our spirit disassociates
yeah,
because it just can't cope, or subconscious mind, I guess, however you want to look at it, parts of us disassociate because it just can't cope with the trauma
yeah,
at the time. And that's okay, just that's how the body copes at the time. But the problem is that we have so many lost parts of us floating around the world. I don't know if you've ever watched a TV show called Lock and Key.
I've heard of it.
It was on Netflix for a while. And oh, man, there was this one episode where one of the main girls in it, what happens is she gets this special key because it's like an old house and there's these magic keys. And she finds this one key where you can literally put it into the back of your head, open up your head, and then you can go inside. She went inside her subconscious mind. And when she went into her subconscious mind, she found fear, her fear.
Yeah,
And she literally dragged her fear out and set it loose. And at first, and then she undoes the key and goes off to sleep. And then in the morning, she wakes up and she feels amazing. Because she's like, well, she's not fearing anything anymore. She didn't care what people think. So she changed her hair color and she's going to school, high school, because she was in high school and just feeling all confident, feeling amazing. And that's all great because she's got no fear in her. But guess what's happened to the fear part of her? It's running around causing havoc in the world. And I sometimes wonder, because, we talk about NPCs and we talk about, sometimes we meet people that just seem like they're just not all there.
yeah.
What I'm, and this is a bit of a theory that my kinesiologist has kind of shared with me as well, and it absolutely fascinates me. What if some people out in the world are these lost, disassociated parts of ourselves? And they're the parts of ourselves that are causing havoc. Because if you've got a fearful part of you and you're not loving that and accepting that and bringing that back into you, what would a part of you, because you think about yourself and you think, well, I'm a good person, I would never hurt anyone. But what if you would, a part of you had ripped off and it was just fear?
That's what
Or just
poltergeists are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that part of you might kill somebody, might hurt somebody in a way that you would never dream of doing, but it's a part of you that's disassociated. And it's kind of scary to think that we could have all these parts of ourselves, these fearful parts running around, causing havoc in the world. And that could explain, I know there's a lot of other elements to it as well, but this could be part of the reason why there is so much trauma in the world, so many horrible things happening. And so I'm curious, I would love to know that, it would take a lot of work, but the more and more that we're moving into the new earth and ascension, if people are working actively on bringing those lost parts of themselves back in. And so that's one of the meditations I'm offering on our platform, is to work on bringing all of those lost parts of yourself, all of those shadow parts that you have, that people have, like we have disowned or ashamed of or embarrassed of, or whatever it is, bringing it all back in and bringing it back into the heart center and just filling it and flooding it with light and love and acceptance. And as we bring more of those parts back in and we start to become more whole, the magic thing is, and I've seen this with my own self. I mean, if you met me when I was 21, I was very judgmental. I did not like myself. My self-talk was pretty disgusting. The way I talked to myself was horrible. I don't talk to myself like that anymore. But it took years of training and rewiring and listening to a lot of books to kind of change all of that within me. And now I feel, I mean, I'm not perfect. I've still got a long way to go. But I do feel like I'm a lot less judgmental these days, and I have a lot more compassion for people and their circumstances and why they might be experiencing different things in their life. And I believe that's because I'm loving more of myself and accepting more of myself. And I do feel that the more people that work on this and work on their shadow work and loving and accepting all parts of themselves, people are going to become more compassionate and more caring and more loving. And I believe that is what's going to heal the world.
Oh, same. I've said it before. I don't think locking up all the bad guys is going to do anything if we haven't healed ourselves. That's what the Great Awakening is all about. And with that being said, it doesn't matter what you know about the world. You can know all the truth there are to know, but if you're not working on yourself, because what we do with those parts of us that are uncomfortable is we project them. We project them, we project them, we project them. If we continue projecting, then we're not taking accountability for our own darkness, then we can harass all the bad guys we want, but new bad guys are just going to pop up. So that's why I keep saying, actually, it doesn't matter. Normies are also going to ascend. There might be more normies ascending than truthers because they're actually taking accountability for their shadow side. And that's the thing too, when you actually acknowledge the parts of you that aren't so pretty, that you might be a bit ashamed of, and you're presenting it to the light. And it's almost like, when somebody makes fun of you for something, but you own it, it loses its power, right?
It does. It's amazing.
So this quantum healing and traditional shadow work or yoga work hand in hand, because these entities, human or otherwise, cannot be attached to you if there's not something to attach to.
Exactly.
But I know you've got some babies that are needing your attention right now. So we're going to do a part 2, guys. But I wanted to give you guys a brief introduction to Paula. And I really would love to do an episode with you, Paula, too, about being a mother. And I know a lot of mothers find it very challenging to do this work. And we can talk we've talked about this before. There is a dogma, there is a schedule, but schedules are also nuanced, and we can work with your schedule as a mom, because being a mom is the most important job. That's your yoga right now for the most part, and that's probably the hardest yoga there is to be a mom.
Yeah.
And so we can talk about that in a separate episode about a female's body, female health, even for women who've never had. We were just talking before we started filming about your boobs and your core and like how that plays out anatomically and energetically, and different women are going to experience different because of the way their body is both atomically and energetically structured. And so we can get into all of that. I would love to talk to you more about that too. And
I would love to as well. Definitely.
But I know you've got a baby who really, really wants to.
So I'm going to go give her cuddles.
She really wants her mama right now, and I can totally understand that. So, so you guys, if you have any questions about quantum healing or anything that you want us to cover in the follow-up video, just ask
please.
Section. And I'm going to put Carrie's episode also in the description box, guys, so you can go back and
great idea.
And make sure you're subscribed to Paula. Again, ask away in the comment section, and we can answer any questions that you have. And let us know.
We want to help you guys. We want to help you guys to learn and grow and heal, because we want to get into that 40 positive.
I was about to say, it's kind of selfish on our part. We don't want to deal with it.
It is a bit selfish. We're not perfect.
We want to move on. So we're like, come on, let's move on, guys.
Let's go. Let's ascend, everyone. Come on.
Teamwork. So anyway, you guys, but we love you guys. To all the people who have signed up,
Yes,
thank
we
you so
do.
much. Well, I can't wait.
And thank you to the people that have subscribed to me already. I mean, I only just started like a few weeks ago.
We were
Well, I think
shocked
about
this morning. We got on to like fix something, and we like didn't realize, like, I knew most of the, but I was like, holy crap, the list just kept on going. We're like, holy
I
crap,
know, it was so exciting.
dudes that have signed up. Like, that's
I
awesome for the guys that have
know.
signed up.
Yes,
So
good on you guys. That's amazing. Because it is for guys as well as girls.
yeah,
This is not just a woman's only thing. This is for everyone.
let me tell you, in traditional yoga, very few women.
Oh,
Very few women. It's in
wow.
India, it's very masculine. Yoga is still a very masculine thing. It's very
Wow.
masculine. And you see that with traditional yoga practices, they're created very masculinely. Like, I'm the only female. There's two other people. There's three people authorized in the state of Georgia. I'm the only female. So that's just
Wow.
that kind. So the 1/3 of it, like, that's kind of normal for traditional yoga. Is very few women, mostly
Yeah.
men. So
How
yeah, we
interesting.
absolutely want the men to come and
Yes, we do.
for
We
both.
want everybody to be doing the work that feels ready to,
Yes, exactly. And I'm gonna have
because
my
it's not easy. So you've got to be ready to do the work.
and one of my
Yeah.
guy friends, my friend Chris, who is one of my friends I met in India years ago, he's going to be doing some stuff on the platform as well.
Yes,
Todd
that'd
is,
be great.
I'm trying to, Paula is going to interview Todd,
Yeah,
hear his life story, but I'm trying to talk him into doing some synthetic chanting courses on our platform.
that would be so good.
Yeah, so
We've got so much exciting things coming, you guys. Like, just what we've got on offer right now is just the beginning. We're
yeah.
going to keep growing and expanding and bringing more
Cindy's going to
stuff.
do Anusara stuff for us. You're going to do a part 2 with Cindy over the moon at key rights. I mean, we're going to try to pull every lineage
Yes.
we can and present it to you so that you can,
Yeah,
knowledge is power. You can pick what works for you.
exactly. Because everyone's different and you've got to find what works for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all the trees in the forest are different. They're just reaching towards the same light. So, we're gonna have tons of different stuff, and I can't wait to get our guest teachers on there. And that's what we want. I don't want it to be just Paula and me. We want to have like a total
I want
school
to
of
work with lots of people.
all master teachers. All the people we're pulling up
Yes.
are master teachers. So, in their own right. So I'm so excited, guys. I'm gonna let you go,
Too.
Paula, because I know your little baby
Yes.
wants you. But you guys, let us know again. Any comments, any questions you have in the comment section, let us know. And yeah, all the information to the Academy. You get 7 days of a free trial. So even if you're still on the fence and you
Yeah, just sign up, give it a go. If it's not for you, then that's fine. No obligation
you got
to
7
stay on
days of
board.
free trial. So yeah. All right, Paula. Well, you guys make sure you're following all the stuff in the description box, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye, everybody.